I slept with another woman while me and my wife were separated. Part 4. My wife is half Bedouin and she is quite dark-skinned, and although she has the most beautiful facial features, she has been told her entire life that she is ugly or not as beautiful as she could be if she was fairer. People buying her makeup in lighter shades throughout her life was normal and something to be grateful for. People complimenting me on my fair genes for make sure none of our kids came out as dark as her, and actually saying thank God that they looked nothing like her, in front of the kids, being constantly questioned by people as to why I found her attractive and that I was good looking and could do better, including from my own grandmother. I figured out early on that this was a load of shit because there was this woman that came over to my grandmother's house while I was there, and after she left, my grandmother and the other aunties there kept going on about how beautiful this woman was when she really wasn't, and I realized it was just because she looked like she needed a transfusion. The problem is that it's been really hard for my wife to unlearn this belief because it's treated like an unquestionable truth and it's so heavily cemented in everyone. Anyway, the point is that AP is very fair as she is European Jewish, and my wife looked at me and said, "Wow, a white and beautiful woman." I snapped at her, which I know I have no right to do, but I said something like, "Don't talk nonsense, you know for a fact that I have never bought into that," and she rolled her eyes. She tossed the phone back to me. I asked her if she wanted to eat something because she didn't eat dinner, and she said, "No, I want to alive." I told her that I'm the one that did this, I'm the one who ruined everything, and that she deserves so much better, and that the fact she inferred anything from this about herself was wrong. Then she said something that made me want to die. She said, "After 20 years of marriage, I find out that the man I lived with, raised children, the closest person to me in the world, was capable of forgetting my existence, my feelings, and turned me into a side character in his love story with another woman for a whole 4 months while I thought of him every second of the day. Who wouldn't want to kill themselves? Every day I waited for you to call me and not ask immediately to speak to the children after a brief hello and how are you? I was waiting for you to remember me and care about me and not just reduce me to the role of the mother of your children. When I called you that night and you told me you wanted to come home and you missed me, I was so happy I was crying. And now I find out you were lying next to another woman." I started crying and apologizing. I knew at that point in time there was nothing I could ever do to undo the damage. All I want is for my wife to heal from this, and I'll do whatever it takes, even if that means letting her go. I tried to hug her, and I think she was too consumed in her own tears to stop me, and so she let me hold for a few minutes. The absolute disaster is that my 16-year-old daughter came down the stairs to switch the news on because her friend in the West Bank texted her to tell her that the IDF and a bunch of Israeli settlers broke into a city in the West Bank called Nablus and are going around burning homes, killing livestock owned by Palestinians, and have already killed a Palestinian in the time it took to write this. My wife's attention has been completely refocused on that, as it looks like we are on the brink of another war over here. I'm really not sure if my daughter overheard me and my wife's conversation, but she walked in the living room when we were both clearly crying and upset. We told her we were just having a fight about something, but I'm sure she knows it's serious considering she has never seen my cry in her life. If she overheard, then that's a fucking disaster, and I don't care what anybody says. My teenager daughter does not deserve to know what an awful man her father is, even if I don't deserve to be viewed as a good man. Anyways, yep, that's my update on this absolute mess I have created.